it's Diana Marchand from dianamarchand.com. And I am here with Noelani Dubeta. See, now I can't remember. Thanks. And she's coming to us from Belgium, which is really cool. We are about to do a little interview and talk about something really interesting that Noelani does. You might not have heard of it before. And then we're going to share a little something that we're doing together that you can choose to be a part of. So it's really exciting. First, if you're not sure who I am and you're just tuning in, you have never seen me before, or met me before, I'll just say a few words about myself. I won't take up too much time. I have my own business, and what I do is I help women over 40, usually over 45, live a healthy, happy life. That's kind of the simplistic version. So it's about women who are going through the middle age of life, and they have a lot of changes in their body. And so what happens is they have issues with weight, maybe some health problems that are coming up, and hormonal changes. And so I help them go through this phase of life. And of course, it has so much to do with what you eat, but also how you live your life. I've been a personal trainer, a yoga instructor, and a raw food chef, and I'm not all raw anymore. But I really love what I do because I get to help women live their best life. That's what I'm all about. And I know that is what Noelani's all about. So Noelani, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much, Diana. Well, I also own a business called Enlighten Palate. And I launched the business just a few months ago. And basically, I offer intuitive nutritional support to people who are interested in knowing what foods resonate with their bodies based on the energies of their foods.
Well, that is really cool. And I know that it's something that seems like so different. It's like, what? So how does that work? Like, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Yeah, so I can intuitively tune into a person's body. I can feel positive and negative charges of energy, and I sort of feel it in my third eye area, if you've heard of the word before, like in my sort of forehead. And what happens is I sort of feel a positive lift to the right when something's really resonating and healthy for someone, and then I sort of feel a kind of soft push downwards when a food is not in harmony with someone's body. So if anything requires further information, such as how much a food, the value of a food, or how much to eat of it, then I will also be assisted by my pendulum, which is a crystal, and that helps me sense a little bit further and assist me in how much a person can eat something. So I've had these gentle intuitive abilities all of my life, and they've grown stronger, and sort of in 2007 I started to offer tarot card readings as well to clients, and I discovered that I could basically read food associated with people other than myself at the start of this year. So I've added that now to my repertoire for my clients.
Yeah, that's really interesting, especially for someone like me who loves to work with food. But what I find is that each person is different. And the problem with, the diets and things that are out there, what someone can get caught up in is trying to find the perfect way of eating. But really, they're just following what someone else found was perfect for them, or they found in a book, or that their girlfriend tried and worked perfectly. And what I always say is you got to find what works for you. Like, is that so important, isn't it? Because, wow, there's so many failed diets or failed plans, or people who have tried things and been so discouraged, so heartbroken because they thought for sure it was going to work and that they were going to feel their best and they were going to have these amazing results. And then what happens is lots of times big disappointment, right? So how knowing how important it is, how important is it for somebody to really find the right foods for them? How has it worked for a client, or what type of difference can this, like something like you do where you work with the actual individual and intuitively tap into what works for them?
Well, Diana, I just want to comment that, when I was younger, I've been through many different kinds of diets. I struggled with my weight most of my life. And I can totally sympathize with people out there that are trying to find a way to eat. There's so much information nowadays, and it's not to discredit any of the previous diets that I've tried, because there are different programs that work for different people.
Mm-hmm.
I've done everything from Jenny Craig to Weight Watchers, the French food diet. I've tried the paleo. I've grown up with a mother who tried many different diets. And so I totally understand that it can be a challenge to try to wade through and find what's right for each individual. With what I'm doing, it's complementary. It's intuitive nutritional support. So I do encourage people to read and educate themselves, or, if you want to go see your doctor, these are all great things that, we can learn and gather information from different people. With intuitive nutritional support through Enlightened Palate, I'm basically taking a food chart that has all the different types of food groups, everything from, if you're vegan or vegetarian, I can work with that too, or gluten free. It's all fine. But I have all these different lists, dairy or vegetables and fruits, and I can just go through each item and literally pick up on kind of what resonates from the DNA of your body. I can even differentiate between if there's a small food allergy that I'm sensing from you, whether that's coming from your father's side of the family or your mother's side of the family, and basically can then share with you energetically what are the things that you might want to consider leaving behind versus the items that really resonate with the totality of yourself. My whole purpose in this is for us to connect back to Mother Earth from where we've come from, and to be really building our cells, the structure, our temple, our bodies out of the foods that come from our earth that really support our growth in a physical level, so that helps us feel at our emotional best and at our spiritual best and at our mental best, and so that we can, live long lives without having to, run to the doctor every day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a great explanation. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I know, like we talked about, we hate the word diet because we really do. It has such a bad thing to it. And I think it's so important. It's really about finding and understanding and feeling, like, for somebody to know also themselves what works for them. Like, to really get this connection, right? Because so many people don't have that connection within themselves. And so because of the disconnect to their body, they tend to eat, like, people just blindly and unconsciously eat things. Maybe it looks good. It's on the TV show. It's all around us. It's in restaurants. And so, people just, I want to eat it. I want to eat it. But then all of a sudden down the road, they have these symptoms, they have these health problems. And it's like, then it forces them to take a look at, now what can I do? And if only we dealt with this before, right? What a huge difference it would make in our life. Like, why not live years healthy and enjoying life instead of, having all of a sudden bang, right?
Absolutely. I'll say that it's when you do your Enlightened Palate and you have your chart, it's up to you actually to still take responsibility for how you eat, how you develop food. If we discover that you are in fact able to eat, say, fowl, like chicken and turkey, it doesn't mean run to McDonald's and have a chicken burger, right? So it's everyone needs, and I see different clients, some people are much more used to eating very healthy food. So for them, it's almost like just checking in that the food they eat from the Enlightened Palate is truly, is there anything that they need to remove? Like, maybe they didn't know that carbonated beverages weren't good for them, but they were doing everything else fine. So that's an easy adjustment. Whereas if someone sits down and they've got health problems, or maybe they don't, they just want to do it and see, maybe they sometimes have a bit of indigestion, or maybe there's other problems that have nothing to do with the way they feel when they're eating, but they're achy, they feel inflammation or something. And we go through Enlightened Palate, we might discover, for example, that that they can do dairy, but only dairy from sheep and from goat's cheese rather than from cows. And so that can be a big eye opener for them to suddenly realize, oh, I'm not really meant to be having mozzarella and or I'm not meant to be, having cheddar cheese or this sort of thing. So the Enlightened Palate is a unique experience. It's up to you to decide how rigorous you want to be with that. And of course, the idea is that we feel good and that we don't, get stressed over what we eat, but at the same time we enjoy it. And so for me, I discovered that I do in fact have a sensitivity to wheat, as do about 20% of the population in North America with all of these GMOs and everything. Yeah. So I'm not eating wheat anymore, but I'm baking beautiful breads that are gluten-free, and I'm loving it. And so these are recipes that I offer on my Facebook group as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent. So you go by, so if someone gets something like this done, right, from you, how can they use it after? How can it, like you said, how do you work? What do you suggest that they do once they get this knowledge? How do you suggest they work with it?
So when we sit down together, we do the Enlightened Palate together for about 30 minutes. And after that, once I photocopy the what we've come up with, I also make a guide for them. And the guide breaks the food categories down that are the most healing for the client, as well as the items that are really not good for them. So your food chart should have a bunch of things that you can eat, like all natural foods. I'm not testing, anything packaged. That's up to you to decide to look at the ingredients on pre-made foods, because I tend to just eat as much whole food as possible. But I understand people have busy lives and they might want to buy a pizza or something, but it's about checking and seeing what it's made out of. And so the food guide is a nice little one-pager that has your whatever we discover are your most healing superfoods, let's call them, and then all the things that you really ought to not have. So if you put that on your fridge or in the inside door of one of your cupboards, you can have a quick glance, or even use it when you're going to the grocery store, and you can then buy foods that are especially good for you, as well as anything else that's on the food chart, and then avoid the items that are no longer considered very good for you. Now, some people ask me, does this change over time? And yes, we know that food allergies can develop or they can dissipate. This is really just about aligning with what ought to be, so far from what I've seen from clients, something that you can count on and eat long term. And of course, you can always book follow-up sessions if you want to discuss specifics a few months later, or just check in and see how you're feeling. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you notice that clients say, oh, it makes a difference? Or did it make a difference to you? Like once you found out for yourself, did you start feeling the effects? Like notice in your health, notice in how you're feeling, your energy? What can they expect to feel once they start to eat more of the foods that you've kind of said these are the ones, and less of the other ones? So, I mean, if you have a weight issue, I find that eating the Enlightened Palate brings you to a sort of symbiotic balance in your body. It's about staying in a state of homeostasis, where you can move from one side to the other, but if you're always coming back to the center with your Enlightened Palate, then your whole body just starts to feel, your skin feels softer. I have a lot of energy. I wake up very early naturally. I find that my sleep is sufficient, and I jump out of bed. I find also one of the biggest things I've noticed since eating more in tune is that I don't have cravings for things so much, and that I seem to be able to, my body seems to be able to eat whenever I'm ready to eat next. So what that means is
if before I couldn't wait until it was lunchtime to put more, calories in. Now, if I don't eat until say 1:45 in the afternoon one day, I don't have such ups and downs and crashes. And also with Enlightened Palate, like lots of people like sweet things, for example. Once you've tested what are the sweeteners that work for you, you can indulge in those to a reasonable extent without having to worry. I mean, I love eating dark chocolate or having a medjool date or using maple syrup in my coffee. And by the way, coffee too, like some people say, oh, coffee's not good for you. Well, I even test, if coffee is a possibility for you, I test, is it good to come from South America or from somewhere in Africa or from, Kona in Hawaii? And is it a blend or is it a single bean? So we can really get down to the specifics. Or tomatoes, is it regular tomatoes or is it cherry tomatoes? Is it the long red peppers or just the big round red ones? Everyone's different. But back to your question, I would say that you will feel more energy. You will kind of be smoother. I think there's something to be said here that your Enlightened Palate tends to test in ways that naturally are of a healthy diet. I mean, I can say that of all the clients I've done, I've only ever had 2 that were okay for white sugar, but everybody else, if they can handle sugar, it's a natural cane sugar. If most people aren't even meant to be on cane sugar. So, the diet itself or your palate, however your Enlightened Palate speaks to me through me and to present to you, it's a fairly healthy way of living, and it's up to you how you want to play with your palate.
That's good. That's a lot of information. And that's, I think, really good because that is very specific. And I know some people always go, but what about? So you're actually able to answer a lot of the questions. That's really good. That's excellent. This can make a big, big difference for people. Big difference. And another thing that it would help is that would help to take away the stress and make things so much easier. Because if someone just knows, like can actually safely know, right? How great. Like instead of trying to figure it out. Oh my, yeah, that's so good. Is having that information and then you're able to, try it out, go for it. See how you can feel, see how you live your life, like see how it affects you. That's excellent.
I had a client who heard about me and she came kind of last minute and she already had a booking to go see a doctor for blood testing, for allergy testing, but she wanted to see what I was up to as well. So she did both and she got back to me and said, it's amazing, but what we found from the scientific doctors' tests aligned with what we had seen in the Enlightened Palate. And that for me was an amazing moment of confirmation. I mean, that's just one person who's done that. And obviously we would need a study of 100 people, but on a one-to-one basis so far, those that have had Enlightened Palate have said they're really grateful and they're implementing that. And I could see the changes in them. So, and they asked me questions and, one guy, we had to get rid of all of the canned food in his cupboards. He had all these canned items and I was, feeling that there was this kind of heaviness and stuckness of this sort of food held in metal that wasn't working for his body at all. And now he's got fresh foods and or things in jars and glass or frozen. These were alternatives that were working for him. And so he's come a long way in just 3 months. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, things like that a lot of people don't even consider. We don't even consider because there is so many else to think. There's so many things to think about. The conflicting information, the confusing information, the overwhelm. Wow, it could really, really help to take that away. That's why I think what you do is so cool. And it fits into exactly what I talk about and the way I work because it really is you as an individual. Let's find what works for you. And that's what you can help them with. So this is so cool. So how can people, before we tell people what we've got planned, how can people find you?
Well, they can join me for now on my Facebook page, which is simply called Enlightened Palate. And I'm talking about the palate of your mouth, not like a painter's palette.
Right. Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
it's Palate, Enlightened Palate. And join my community, and then you'll receive some updates. And I'm posting, intuitive nutritional information that I find online, and I'm posting recipes and also informative pieces about what's going on in the food industry out there, things that are concerned to me that I want my clients to know, to be aware of. And so it's a place where people can share their own thoughts as well. And just connect. And my website will be ready in 2017. And that's where you'll be able to access lots of recipes. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I will also, for all of you who know me and who follow me, I will have Noelani's information on my Facebook groups. My main Facebook group that I love to be in a lot is Women Creating Healthy Lives. And that is for women over 40. And that's where you can find me most of the time. So I'll be posting things. But we also have something planned for those who live around Vancouver Island, around Nanaimo, in Vancouver, wherever you live. If you live close enough to get to Nanaimo for January 2nd. Me and Noelani are going to be doing an event on January 2nd in the evening. More information to come. And this is going to be intimate. It's going to be nutritional transformative, I guess you could say. It really will be a transformative evening where people can come, where women are going to come, and they're going to get to experience. They're going to get a one-on-one session with Noelani, which that's exactly when you're going to find out all those things that she talked about, which is truly amazing. So this is going to help you. And just imagine the change and the difference it's going to make for the new year, right? For 2017. For somebody wanting, like really saying, that's my year. That's when I'm going to get everything together. I'm going to feel my best, look my best, be my best. And so you're going to have that consultation with her one-on-one, which is really cool, and get your own chart, an Enlightened Palate chart, right? Is that right? Yeah. And then we're also going to do, I'm going to do some recipes. So I'm going to show you how to make some recipes. Some are going to be raw, some are going to be cooked, all gluten, all dairy free. And then we are going to have dinner too. So we're all going to sit down and get to enjoy the wonderful food and learn. It's all going to be about learning, right? It's going to be about learning and setting yourself up for the new year, really about your health, your wellness.
Exactly. Going to give lots of information and some tips and a chance for people to ask questions as well. We really will. We want this to be participatory, and so everyone can have a chance to tell their story a little bit, and we'll have a nice ladies gathering by the ocean, just Nanaimo.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good. It's really going to be a time where you don't have to just sit back and watch us and that's it, and then go home. It really is truly, right? It's a time for discussion, for talking about your, things you've been going through, for sharing information, learning, growing, and getting a good idea of now how to move forward in 2017.
Yeah. We want to kickstart your 2017. Yeah. Supercharge your palate and help you move forward.
That's great. We are working on a name for this. Welcome. And I will have lots more information coming up on my Facebook groups, and of course you can
and let's mention it's going to be an evening event, so if you're working that day you can attend. We'll be booking one-to-ones starting in the late afternoon and going into the evening with dinner included and the cooking demonstration and then sharing lots of information. So if you want to get in on the action and be one of the first people to book your spot and get the one that works best for you based on your day, be sure to contact Diana early enough so that we don't disappoint. Thank you.
Exactly, because we have limited spaces, guys. We really do, because we want this to be where each person really gets a lot of individual attention, and you will come out with such a great plan for your 2017. So notify me for sure, Diana Marchand on Facebook, through my site, dianamarchand.com, and Women Creating Healthy Lives. More information to come, but please let us know that yes, you are interested, you want to be there. January 2nd, like you said, you're going to start your consultations. If someone doesn't work in the afternoon, they can start like later.
Earlier, yes.
Because we're going to book one after another. And then those who work, of course, can fit into a slot that works for you when you finish the working day. And it will go into the evening, so expect that. It's going to be, and it's a perfect way to start your new year right on to January 2nd. No waiting, no excuses, no procrastinating, right? Just do it.
Yes, and I'm going to come all the way from Brussels, Belgium.
Yeah.
Everyone. So we're going to see you on Vancouver Island together with Diana Marchand. I'm looking really forward to meeting you all and having a really great intimate evening together. So,
yeah,
thanks.
I know. I'm looking forward to you coming too. And yes, of course, we forgot to mention she's not going to be in Belgium, in Brussels. She's going to be here. So yes, it's all in person.
Coming all the way just for you.
Yeah, that's right. It's in person. Well, thank you so much, Noelani. I so appreciate you taking this time.
Thank you so much, Diana. It's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to meeting your everybody on the island. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and I'm excited about what we're going to do. I'm really excited now because I think us actually putting it out there makes it seem it's so real now, and it's time to lighten the buzz about it and get everything out there and get people to. So if you're watching, but you know someone who might be really interested in this, please share this video with them or have them contact me, because like, they may not know me or know a way of finding out, but yes, please share. Right?
All right.
Get our info.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you so much, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.